Time's up, Admiral.
Here it comes.
By the power of Grayskull!
I am dumping unlimited power into you.
And to be fair, racist was Hitler.
And that is just.
Oh God,
those eyes, dude. Those eyes, man. Those eyes.
Pretty eyes.
I'm not looking at them eyes right now.
You know what?
I know, but she is a total package. She is a total package.
I usually
can have my
think
package.
Ryan. I usually think Ryan is very cringe when he says this, but she can shit in my mouth.
Whoa,
God,
Dermy!
Why do you have to ruin
What
this?
the fuck?
Why
Ryan
do you have to
says
ruin
that
this?
shit.
Fuck,
Ryan
I know,
says
but-
this shit.
I
If
will
Ryan
drink
jumped
Ryan
off a
just
bridge,
says
would
that
you jump
shit.
off a bridge?
But you just
For
He
her,
probably
yeah.
fucking
that.
would.
Here we are worshiping this beautiful woman, and you're talking about German shit eating. I mean, come on.
Listen. I will drag my ball sack.
No, listen.
100
You
miles
listen to
worth
me.
of
Shut the
frickin'
fuck up.
broken glass, salt, and lemon
Shut the
juice
fuck up,
just
Jeremy.
to smell her farts.
We're not on your goddamn stream. We're on Adam's stream. We're
Wow,
supposed
I
to
am-
respect the man's
Thanks-
house. You don't take
thank-
shit in his goddamn fridge.
Don't want to be like the name survive. Woo! Thank you, Ric Flair.
Wow.
Woo!
Imagine for a moment, if you will, being Adam's neighbor. You're sitting in your favorite easy chair. Maybe you got a cup of tea and you're reading your favorite book, and out of nowhere, through the wall, you hear this. Culturally appropriate my dick.
That's what
All Shooty wanted to do was be inside me.
Come.
And then when I'm holding hands with Dermy, it's going to be worse. I did that. I've done that.
Oh,
I have the
God.
video here.
Just think of that. You're gonna be holding
Yes.
his hand and think about what that hand's been holding. Technically,
Yes.
you touched Dermy's penis.
You are a worthless turd.
It was one of the first James Bond movies I watched, so I have a bit of a connection to it.
That's
and
Dermy's
yeah,
excuse.
I don't fuck. Stop
It
bringing
was
up
their
Dermy.
first date, Adam. Shut up.
I will stop bringing it up. I don't give a fuck what that wannabe VTuber cunt wants to say. Okay, let me have my moment.
We named zombies after you in that game.
Yeah.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, they're these big fat bloaters that sun themselves, and they just lay there.
oh, those are the things that come out of my rainbow's ass.
Oh yeah. Take it. All right, Devil. Here we go. Now these are
Do you
the bananas
peel
in
it
the
first,
house.
or are you going to take the whole thing?
No,
Love
I'm
the banana.
I'm gonna eat it.
Want
I'm
the
going to eat
banana.
it. All right, so now it's going to be extra distasteful because, as you can see, it started to ripen, and I don't like a ripe banana. I like a slightly green banana, so it's not going to taste as very good at all to me.
Make sure you cup it.
Well, I mean, all right, so now it has to be circumcised. So there we
That's
go.
true. You need to make sure you do that. Okay,
Make sure
and
God Abraham is
you-
satisfied with
you
this
also need to make sure
banana.
to
No, listen,
prep your
listen.
uvula.
Okay, you know what? There were no rules set down for this. Okay, outside of I just have to eat it the long way, which whatever the fuck that means.
It means try a one fucking bite, bitch.
Yeah. So, I have a gag reflex, so we're gonna. All right. So, how's that? Is that a good angle?
Yeah, that's a really good angle. Come on, deep throat that banana.
No, Kratos. There is no sweet.
I'm
talking
really
with
uncomfortable now.
I'm a man of my word. Okay. All right. Here comes the memes. You get. I deliver. I have to build my. I don't want to put something long in my mouth like this.
So many clippable moments.
Do it.
All right, let me try and control my laughter. I can't be laughing when I do this. I might choke. Okay, give me a second here.
Get it, girl.
Yeah, that's right. You take
I
that.
hit the
big
gag.
load.
I hit the back of my throat.
That-
2 words
we did-
Dermy's
Well,
never
that's
said.
what it does when that happens.
You need to fix it.
All right, is that it? Am I done?
Well, you got a banana there.
Well, now I'm just eating a regular banana at this point. I took it the long way as much as I could.
Yeah, I'm fine. We
Yeah,
got
if
what we
Devil-
want. The
If
clip.
Devil is satisfied, then we're done.
They warned us about people like you!
There we go. All better now. Man, titties are the greatest things on earth.
Need new clips. Need new clips. That one needs to go away. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Mellow Mondays. Shooty Who is finally over, so my brain isn't complete mush and we don't run overtime. So we're back to normal. Hope everybody's had a good Monday. It's actually haven't been too bad. Yeah, although, well, it's listen, it's weird out there, man. It's weird out there. There are a lot of effed up things going on. Some things that I will use as conversation starters for tonight because I'm still kind of peeved over some stuff I covered this afternoon on the Double Ds. But either way, we're here. We are going to have as much fun as we normally can on a Mellow Mondays. How you doing, Doe?
I'm doing good. Did my gym today, and I was actually watching your videos when I was there. I watched. Yeah, usually I'm listening to music, but I was all like, I'm gonna look, watch some YouTube videos, and yours kept coming up. So I watched the one where you're talking about the Andor stands.
We're going to talk about that
connect it.
tonight. I'm going to bring that back up again tonight, amongst some other things. We got to wait for one of them for Sam to get here because one of them I think is going to keenly piss Sam off. So I'm going to say that till he's here. But yeah, that one pissed me off because I don't want to talk politics, but we will talk about some of that stuff because it is pop culture because it's an example of these weirdos perverting the things we love and twisting it to literally fit their agenda right now. And it's disgusting. But I got to ask you something. How you feeling after finally getting in the shit with the bugs on Saturday night?
Man, that game pissed me off so fucking bad.
You die a lot. You die a lot. It's insane. Well, you were like base level, so you still got to get upgrades for your gun. I mean, I heard you saying reload faster. You can't.
Yeah.
You will get upgrades to reload faster. I mean,
I'm not one of those people who usually get to the point where I'm like about to throw my remote or break it or anything. That game, I was literally about to chuck the remote at the wall.
well, you also, I mean, that long one that we got into, that was an obscenely long one because of where the resources were.
Mhm.
And what we had to go through to attempt to win that. We almost got it. That one still breaks my heart. We should have won that. That was just terrible. That was a rough one to lose. But yeah, so you got to taste what it's like with the bugs. And granted, you were low level. You were playing a bunch of us who now level only means good equipment and you have the extra skills and the extra stuff. And most of us have been playing for what, a year now, I guess. And we have all that gear and all the special perks. Like for instance, I'm a sniper, and one of my perks is a scanner built into my helmet. So what all the bugs like that there when they're a swarm and you're just trying to take aim, they're all green to me. I just see green scanner things everywhere, which makes it easy for me to target everything. So that's a perk of the sniper. And there are other perks, everybody. So if you keep playing with us, you'll get those perks. You'll level up pretty quickly because we do the stuff where you get the XP quickly. But it is a fun game and it is frustrating. And that was a rough night. That big one was a long, tough fight, but we gave it our all. It was worth it. And I will go back. Although this weekend we may play it later because this weekend Alf and I are going to be starting some Space Marine 2 action. We're playing some Space Marine 2, and it's only a 3-player co-op. So me, him, and whoever else he wrangles into that one for the first part of it. But I'm sure if people start piling in, we'll switch to Troopers again
because that is the one. Because we so we can get like 15 people, 16 people in that, and it'll be good. We also have to schedule Among Us. We're coming up on that. I need to figure out when we're doing that. If we're doing that this weekend or next weekend. I think we're probably doing it next weekend, because if Alpha and I are planning Space Marine 2 this weekend, we probably have to push it off to next week. So I'm thinking like Among Us next weekend.
Yeah.
Where we can all yell at each other some more and do horrible things. Anyway, hail howdy everybody in the chat. Hope you're doing well. Remember, hit that like button. Devil, guess how many away I am from 4,000?
How many?
I'm only 8. Only 8.
Damn.
Only 8 away from 4,000. Only 8. We're gonna get there, and then they say great things happen when you finally cross that particular threshold and get in that 4,000 or 5,000 range. The algorithm, takes another look at you and says, "Hey, guess what? I'm gonna push you a little bit harder." So we'll see what happens. We have a game plan here where we're looking at see how things go this summer, and by the end of the summer, I could be on a whole new playing field in terms of the channel working and make some changes in my life for the better. So every little bit helps from everybody. And while alt accounts are appreciated, we want real accounts, because YouTube will strip away those alt accounts over time, especially if you're doing rapidly. They'll be like, "Wait a minute, this doesn't look right," and then they'll just we watch it happen. We tried it one night, just strip them all away. And thanks everybody for hitting that like button, for hanging out with us. If you're new here, we appreciate you guys joining us. If you're watching live or on the replay, stick around. We have good times here. This is Mellow Mondays, where we try to nerd out over stuff. We try to have fun discussions and interesting things. And sometimes we go down rabbit holes. Sometimes the chat sends us down a rabbit hole. And sometimes we do talk about relevant topics, this and that, because it's an interesting panel that we have put together here. It's not the regular panel all the way around on other shows. So we get interesting takes, interesting perspectives. Sam will be here for a while. I haven't heard from Drew. I assume Drew is busy. Otherwise, he'd probably be here by now, I'm sure. But Drew is usually also part of the show. And Sam will be here probably in the next 20, 30 minutes. So let's see. What do we got? What do I got? Which one do I want to do? I got to admit, all I have tonight are conversation starters. I don't have any real articles to go over, because none of them, they're articles, but they're just like, hey, regular shit. Nothing we haven't talked about already is the problem, too. And I've already talked Superman once the past 48 hours, so I can't talk Superman again, although we will sort of talk Superman. But again,
I saw that video too.
No, we're not going to talk the budget thing. We're not talking that. We're talking Superman related to this stuff today. So we'll start with this one right here. Devil, how into handheld are you? Like handheld gaming?
I want to get more into it. Like I got the Switch and I don't use it too much, but I do want to get a Steam Deck. That's one of the next things I want to purchase after the car.
All right, you say that. So there was Xbox Game Fest the past 48 hours or something like that. I didn't really follow it because I don't have an Xbox and I don't really get into Microsoft titles. But they did officially announce their handheld, the ROG Xbox. I mentioned this earlier today, and I kind of just said, yeah, so why not just get a Steam Deck?
Yeah.
Because think about it. Everything on Xbox is on PC. Why not you just get a Steam Deck? That's my thing about this. This feels like a desperation Hail Mary by Microsoft and Xbox to get relevance again.
Yeah. Yeah, they're always playing for second place to PlayStation, and yeah, we already know that they're essentially like thinking about phasing out consoles and going more to PC because consoles just aren't doing as well as they used to, I guess.
Theirs aren't. Yeah.
Yeah, this seems like they're essentially trying to do a Steam Deck, play our games on this too, and
I mean, yes, you get access to Game Pass, but you also get access to Game Pass on your PC.
Yeah.
And literally everything that shows up on Xbox will have a PC equivalent. So I don't see the point of this. Now, I'm assuming this thing's going to be at least minimum $300 minimum, because the Steam Deck's pretty expensive. But I've heard it's worth it. I mean, Jed swears by it. Jed says it's great. So
I heard they're soon here. They're coming out with Steam Deck 2, so
really,
I might wait for that if
Mm.
that's a true thing. Like I said, I've just heard rumors, and because it's like 800, but you get like a gigabyte or whatever. So I mean, you can put a lot of games on that. It's not.
now see, thing is, I was there when handheld kind of started. Officially with the Game Boy, the original Game Boy, where God help you needed lights. You could see that little green screen. And I've showed you guys like the doohickeys I had built in to make it magnified and lights and extra speakers. I went all in on that, and I even had a Game Gear at one point. Then I've had a couple different later on versions of the Game Boy, and then of course I had a PSP. But the thing about handheld gaming, of course, I do have a Switch. It's still in my bag from when I went traveling a couple months ago. I haven't taken it out. So here's the thing, though. I try as I might. Outside of my initial dip into it when it first started with the Game Boy, I just really cannot get into handheld gaming.
Yeah.
I just can't. I want to play on my monitors or my TV. I want to see my game. I want to be in my home. I mean, to me, handheld is if I'm on a road trip or I'm going to be sitting someplace, like I know I'm going to be sitting someplace for maybe 3 to 4 hours, and I do have a book, but maybe I want to take a break from my book and do something else. So that's handheld to me. I don't really. I mean, if I do have my Switch at home with me and I am going to play it, it's in the dock and I'm playing it on my TV. I'm not playing it in my hands. I'm not lounging in bed or on the couch playing it. I want to play on the TV. So is it a thing about handheld gaming? You have to be wired that way, or am I just the weirdo here that doesn't you really can't get into it, no matter how hard I try all my years?
No, I think it just the reason I want it is because I've been trying for a while now to play the first 3 Dragon Age games. And like I said, every time I try to load the first one on my
up on your computer,
yeah. So this will probably be the way I'll be able to, but I'm kind of the same way. I rarely play it. Like I said, I have a Switch. I have one game for it. I beat that game, never got another one. So I'm not near as into it as I could be. So I agree.
I mean, I have a few Switch games, and I've sort of beaten them or started them and put them down. And it goes to the point that, and this is kind of the conversation I've been having for the past couple of weeks about the Switch 2 release, and the fact that for the company that's the number one of exclusive titles, which Nintendo, they're king of exclusive titles, they launch a system without their exclusivity, which is what they should have done to reign supreme and have a mega all-time launch. And what it boils down to is that I guess in the end, there's something about Nintendo's overall library that just doesn't appeal to me. Hasn't appealed to me in 25 years, to be brutally honest. And or maybe 20, no, actually more like 27 years. 27 years. And it's just the way it is. And when it comes down to the Switch being portable and stuff, I don't feel the need to play those games. And now if I'm looking at, let's just say, hang on, driver, hang on. You know, when your throat just suddenly goes dry out of nowhere, you're finding something, boom, and you can't talk. Now, if you have this new ROG or a Steam Deck, yes, you can play all kinds of PC games, which of course I want to play. But then again, I don't want to play them on a small screen. That's what it boils down to. I could be wrong about portable gaming, Frank. Thanks, Frank. Thanks.
I'm not. I just, and I also don't think they could do more with it. I just see I see their potential with a portable gaming, but it doesn't seem like they're really trying to do anything with it. I don't know. I mean, the graphics are getting better, great, but like I said, unless you're really like sitting there using that small screen, it just doesn't. It's not worth the extra price tag. I'm already paying the $600-700 for the console. one, why would I pay another $5 or $6 for a handheld version? If I'm out and about, it's because I'm out there for a purpose, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's one thing to be on a plane or a train, or literally, like I said, for me, it's like I'm sitting at the car place and whatever it's gonna be, it's like, okay, you're gonna be here for 4 hours. Sit tight.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't make, and I don't want to spend the money on an Uber back and forth. It's like I don't want to spend the extra money. I'll sit here and I'll wait it out.
Yeah.
Other than that, like you said, if I'm out doing stuff, I'm out doing stuff. It's like I'm gonna be out for 2 or 3 hours, actually driving, shopping, doing things that are important for real life to move forward. It doesn't mean there's no reason for me to bring that about. And since I'm the one driving, it's not like I'm being shuttled about and I'm sitting in the car for a while. No. So, and at the same time, if you said, like, if let's say the next Steam Deck is going to be, and this thing, if this thing's $300 to $400, which it could very well be, it's a console. Excuse me, a console in your hand, and a Steam Deck is easily $400. Why don't I just save that and put it towards a new computer?
Yeah.
That's my next logical step, because as much as I am, I'm an Apple guy. I prefer Apple products for all my work that I do. But when it comes to gaming, if I'm going to game going forward, I'm going to need a PC rig. I'm going to need a real PC gaming rig going forward, because not everything gets a cross-platform Apple release. Hello, Eldritch One.
Oh,
how you doing?
Yeah. They.
So, but
What
I'm
do you
saying,
think?
so if I'm going to spend the money on something like this, I might as well just put it in the piggy bank and say, okay, you know what? I'm going to save this for buying a new computer, just for gaming.
Yeah. And like you were mentioning, with if they had something you couldn't get on the regular system, it makes it more appealing. But that's not the case. It sounds like they're just gonna, everything you can play on the system, you can play on here. Well, then I'll just get a system. Like, and it's not that they couldn't. It's not that they couldn't. We've seen, like, why not integrate the whole Pokemon Go idea of it? Like, if you get a game for that and you're out in the real world, you can find parts, like with the Switch 2 Mario Kart, right? That's real big right now, the Mario Kart world or whatever. If you could actually go out there into the real world and randomly find parts that you could pick up on screen and port over, like, it's all like, holy crap, look at that exhaust, and you can add that to your go-kart or whatever. That's the kind of thing that can draw people to pick that over, just a normal thing. With the Switch, it doesn't matter because it goes on both things. But like something like this, if they had like stuff like that integrated into it, which they could easily do, it would draw people to pick this. But like I said, they're just literally saying, hey, all those games you play at home, now you can play outside. And I just don't see that as enough of a draw to spend an extra, like I said, $400 or $500.
And this is Microsoft. They're not exactly into innovation.
Yeah,
that's not their deal. Sam, how you doing? What do you think about this? Thanks, Sam.
Sorry, I glitched out. You know how it is.
Okay, yeah, it's all right. You have any thoughts on this? On Xbox revealing their handheld?
No.
Okay. I didn't think so. Because I wager, like me, you're not much for the handheld.
I'm not much for Xbox.
Yeah, that too.
But yeah, no. The last handheld that I had that I really spent any time with was I think the 3DS. And that's just because it had local connection play with Monster Hunter.
Oh, okay. There you go. Yeah, well, we'll see how this. I think this is gonna bomb. I think this is a real bad idea from Microsoft. Then again, that's what Microsoft does: bad ideas for Xbox, which is why it's perennially in third place and dipping behind even now PCs. Anyway, how you doing, Sam?
Well, I thought they were retiring, like, any kind of console shit. Didn't they announce that earlier?
You never know. It's rumors. They keep changing their mind. You never know.
Yeah,
I think they got
okay.
Yeah, it's. I'm glad you're here now because now we can move on to my next conversation starter.
Awesome.
So I did a piece this afternoon on Double D's, talking about. I mean, we're not going to get too political here, but I will mention what's going on in LA is retarded and stupid, and it's made even worse. It's made even worse if you go on social media and have a bunch of fake fans and stans literally co-opt IPs to suit their messaging. I did a segment today. It was my segment on Double D's about how people like this right here, people like this right here, want to basically tell you that, and I didn't have it set up. I opened up a bunch of other ones. I didn't have this one set up. Sorry. Want to basically go out there and tell you that what's going on in LA is Andor in live action. That you've got to be worried that they're coming for you. And I had another one, but I couldn't save it because apparently Star Wars Explained has me blocked. I forgot I got a block from them, so I couldn't save theirs when I found it. And I forgot to but you got people like this who are basically saying, look out, here come the stormtroopers. Andor is real.
Yeah, there's things I could say about this, but like you said, you don't want to get too political. So
not too political. Well, listen, I'm going to tee you off in a second here. Okay, this is the setup. Since I already covered this, I just want some light thoughts on this kind of behavior where guys say Andor never felt more important. But it's okay. I mean, I don't mind going into this because this is full-on commie Marxism right here. This is full-on indoctrination. What these people are doing, using beloved things for their political purposes. So this is the tee-off point. And to me, this is just so low-key stupid that you're saying Andor touched me and now it can touch you because you have to realize it's really happening.
Where on the doll did Andor touch you?
Oh dear. To quote myself, I need a bigger doll. But you got this. So there's this, but then there's another layer to this. Okay, there's another layer to it. Where is it? Did I just make? Here it is. All right. You'd think it was bad with the Andor people, but we are a short 1 month away from the release of James Gunn's Superman. So that doesn't stop a bunch of, I'll say it, queerdo twinks, especially this particular queerdo twink, who many of you may be familiar with as a social media parasite, to do stuff like this. Blu-ray Angel, this twink and a half. Superman would never side with ICE. Superman is literally, say it with me, an illegal immigrant. He learned empathy. Crazy how some people would treat him with ridicule. Before you speak on real issues, improve your media literacy, even when it's slapping you in the face.
Okay, so
yeah, go ahead.
I will give him
points.
Turn it
over to you.
I will give him points for the illegal alien thing because yes, Superman is in fact an illegal alien. That is a fact. However, he assimilated, which is why for 80 years it was truth, justice, and the American way, which he upheld. Even the colors of his uniform reflect that of his adopted homeland's flag. So suck it.
Careful. And say to this guy.
I mean, I'm a little hard up right now anyway.
Yeah. and they're ignoring that. Okay, so Superman would be totally okay with the illegal aliens that keep hurting American citizens. Wait, I thought he was against that, right? He would be all for these guys who are the MS-13, right? These guys, they totally be for that. No, he wouldn't. He'd be just as disturbed that they have all these people committing crimes and essentially getting away with it because the left is so set on freaking us seeing all of them as victims and these good people when they're not.
Mm-hmm. You know who was a victim? The girl who died in her father's arms a few years ago.
Yeah.
When
Exactly.
a drugged out illegal shot her.
Yep. You know, and
That's
that's
his
the thing is not only would Superman have an issue with that kind of shit, he would also act unilaterally across international borders to put an end to it.
That's the thing. Superman, he's the big blue Boy Scout. He follows the law. And he wouldn't do harm to people, but he would say, listen, you're breaking the law.
No, he'd show up and he'd give some inspirational speech that would calm shit down on both sides and bring it into it, which he's done many times.
Yeah. But, I mean, these people want to take symbols of true freedom and justice, and they want to pervert them. And that's what, and this little twink has been spurting out all day long. This is the one I saved because I didn't want to just go through a bunch of them. This is the one I saved. And it's you take this, you take the stands from Disney Star Wars, you take the MC. I'm sure there's some MCU bullshit out there I haven't seen. And it just literally hurts your brain that they're this retarded, that they're this wrapped up. Listen, we all love our franchises, but I don't need to take things I love and apply them to real world situations in order to justify anything. In fact, I don't want the real world situations. I want to retreat to the things I love to forget about real world situations.
So on that regard, with the Andor thing, the first thing that popped into my head, and yes, this is a real thing. It's documented. The CIA has been dicking around with this forever, so it's not completely tinfoil hat territory. Predictive programming. Who's in charge over at Disney? Who's in charge over at Star Wars? What kind of people?
Commie Marxists.
Right? So they would write a thing that later on, something very similar happens in real life, almost like they were gearing up for it. And this is not even the only example. I'm just trying not to turn your show into my show.
You're not wrong. Well, you're not wrong. Tony Gilroy, when Andor was coming out, and I was reporting on this, we were talking about this, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, look, he's talking about genocide." He's like, "I'm not really talking about anything in particular. I'm just talking about history, and these things happen in history." No, motherfucker, you were purposefully writing an agenda-driven, ideologically filled series to be a vehicle for activism because you knew that these smooth-brained, window-licking, shit-gobbling, nutting idiots would happily fill in the blanks that you left for them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Tony Gilroy is not innocent in any of this. He'll pretend to be innocent, but he's not.
I mean,
he did it all on purpose.
Things like Andor are basically, SAT if-then statements with only the first half filled out, right? It's just like, like I said, I don't want to get too tinfoil hat on you, man, but it's there is a strong bond between modern entertainment and what we're seeing politically and actually
indoctrination
in real time. It's a very real thing. We do.
You're not wrong.
We do try to shy away from it on here, but like in this case, I think it fits.
Before we went live here, I decided to relax during dinner and before the shows. Like, I'm actually going to sit back and watch a movie, and I finally was able to watch a movie from an anime that I've been trying to watch for a couple of years. And they finally released it, and it's going around now. If I got my hands on it, the next chapter in the Overlord series, they did a movie release to cover a small arc in it, and it was basically called Overlord: The Sacred Kingdom. And the entire thing was essentially the entire threat that was unleashed on this kingdom was a put-up job by our titular evil hero and his crew. And the indoctrination that goes on during this, if you are familiar with the show, you're sitting here laughing because it's all fake. All of it is fake. The invading army hoolied up by one of Ainz's goons. Ainz comes in there and gets everybody loving him on purpose so that he can be a hero, even though he's technically the source of the invasion that has murdered their leadership and killed their people. I mean, it's a put-up job, but you're cheering it on because, like, yes, we know it's wrong, but this is our hero and we're cheering from. So I just literally watched an entire movie of that, the entire inciting incident and everything on there was fake. I mean, it was real, but the threat was created by our protagonist so that he can look like a hero and gain their support going forward. So I totally hear what you're saying. And it is a totally real thing. It totally does happen. But in this case, in that one, that's just a fictional world where it's literally powerful people playing politics and this and that. This is whatever pieces were put into place. Yeah, it may be happening, but then literal ideological fools take it and run with it and just shoot their mouths off all over the place.
Oh yeah.
And that's the most annoying part of it, because I of course want to fight with every single one of these things, but I have to just put a break on it and go, yeah, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna do this. It's not worth my time. We'll make fun of it on stream though.
They do it to everything. That's the thing. Is right now it's just popular to try to attach it to some pop culture thing. So they do it with any thing that they've invaded. Whether it be Superman, like you said, Andor, whatever it is, they will find it. But they do it with everything. I mean, I've literally gotten an argument with one of them before because they said that Jesus would be for big government. And I was all like, what?
Okay.
Yeah. And so it's whatever they want. They will find a way to take anything and somehow say that this supports their ideology. It happens across the board.
That's why I go back to the old standard now. Gatekeep your franchises, gatekeep your hobbies. Don't let them in. Because there have been a lot of replies to this guy in the Disney Star Wars stands. People were saying this is what happens when the corpo takes it over, makes it ideological, and lets these people in as their shills in their stands, as their propaganda machines. And there really are fewer of them than there are of us, but everybody's so apathetic, it feels like there's more of them is the problem. Because they're all talking constantly, and we just go, oh, leave me alone.
Well, yeah, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. The loudest person gets the attention. They're out there screeching ree about shit so often that I
mean, I've heard it today. I saw a couple other memes on the way in on this today. One saying, remember, these are people protesting against people being kidnapped and taken off the street. But on January 6th, there were people trying to overturn the government. Realize which side you're choosing.
Yeah, okay.
I know. They're literally... Yeah, I know. And my response has been, I'm not choosing the side of the guy. One was like, either choose the side of the police or choose the side of the. Oh no, there was a picture of Trump. Choose the side of a PDF file or choose the side of the guy on the cool motorcycle.
No.
My head hurts right now. My head hurts from this.
It's so just, So I have kind of taken a step back from politics on my own show because it's just
you have to sometimes
all suck all the time, right? And so I started looking into other things and getting into other things, things that I find, I mean, they're just as horrifying, but they're like horrifying fun for me because it makes one of my co-hosts, Caucasian Sasquatch, cringe and his skin crawl. Like this weekend, we talked about there are biogeneticists who are trying to engineer fungus to produce spider venom, right? Which is then introduced into the local mosquito populations, which the mosquitoes then transmit among each other sexually.
That's creepy as fucking hell.
Yes, but it's not political.
Yeah, but it's scary. It's frightening.
Oh, 100%. I agree with you on that. But I mean, point is, it's like I've kind of taken a step back from this. It's not that I'm not paying attention. I'm just kind of not doing that content right now.
For a second, when you said fungi, I thought you were going to tell me the story about a couple of Chi-Coms who were going to try and use fungus to destroy our crops that I heard about earlier this week. I thought that's where you were going to go for a second. But no, that's even more frightening. That's even more frightening.
No, in this case, I'm talking about giving fungus, which I personally believe shares a universal hive mind, is more intelligent than us, and is out to destroy us all, superpowers. which I
I'm
think
more
is a problem.
disturbed. I'm more disturbed the spiders are having sex.
No. It's not. The fungus is producing spider venom, right? The
Okay, yeah.
mosquitoes are they intake it and then they go make babies with other mosquitoes, and those babies basically they pass the spider venom along, weakening them genetically until they all die out.
So it's an attempt to kill the mosquito population, but somehow that's not how it's going to work in the end. It's going to go all sci-fi on us, and it's going to.
I'm just saying,
it's going to be bad.
DDT has some pretty severe side effects, but it's not this involved.
Hey, DDT actually did its fucking job, though.
Oh, it did. That's exactly it. It was really effective for all the hate you got.
Oh yeah,
almost eliminated. Was it smallpox? Was it
bed bugs?
Was it the one that almost.
It was bed bugs.
Yeah, shit. But the thing is this like reeks of one of those things where we do something because we think it'll be good, and then it has some negative side effect down the road that we just didn't think of.
Oh yeah,
and now we're kicking ourselves in the ass.
It's Australia's rabbit population problem all over again.
Yeah.
But I guess to make a long drawn out horrifying story short, you can't get away from the politics. It's even in the entertainment. It's fused into it.
Yeah, and that's why one does need to take a break. You need to step back. That's why with all my knowledge on how politics works, I don't want to talk about it. I could have legitimate things to say. I could have intelligence to say. I could put it in ways that people might be able to understand and maybe not want to yell and scream about. But I choose not to because it's a headache. It's a headache. Yeah. And I don't want to. I want to escape from this stuff. And that's why what we just talked about, I'm going to point it out when it's being abused in entertainment. And frankly, that's why I talk about we need to get back to escapism entertainment and not agenda-driven entertainment. And that's the thing that's going on.
100%.
Hail Abe, how you doing, man? And it's just I feel like because these weirdos and queerdos are all behaving so badly, is that we're winning because they look so stupid. To have literally walk out saying Andor's happening in IRL, if that's literally what they're saying, they look just like children. Like retarded children who cannot tell the difference between fantasy and reality.
I love the ones who think that they are Andor. I was like, he dies horribly, right?
Well, they think more accurately, they think they're the Rebel Alliance fighting the Empire in California right now. That's what they think is going on. That this is the Empire coming in to jackboot and stormtrooper them to death, and they're the Rebel Alliance or the Resistance if they're Disney Star Wars.
Never, of course, considering that California itself is the empire, but whatever.
Yeah.
Devil, you could speak to that. You live there.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I mean, this state has every single thing going for it. Natural beauty, amazing. We have so many different biodiversity. We got deserts, mountains, the ocean. This state has everything going for it. We're crops wise, we can grow so much stuff here. It's the reason our economy is, when it's going well, is the third biggest economy in the world, I believe.
Unless they dump all the water into the ocean.
Yeah. We have so much going for us, and it doesn't matter because the left has literally butt humped this state into never being good again. It's just amazing how something with so much potential has been ruined,
and so much of the population just thanked them for it.
Yeah.
Oh, they're thanking them for it. They're praising the armies of aliens marching through the streets, burning shit down. Which is especially hilarious to me. Tinfoil hat time again, because didn't California just burn down half of LA?
Yeah,
and eminent domain, all of that shit, and now they're letting immigrants do the job for them, the rest of the job.
Yeah. Yet, Mayor Bass will get reelected, no problem.
Yep,
she'll get reelected.
Yep.
Gavin Newsom
probably be in Cuba at the time, but yeah.
Gavin Newsom trying to be a tough guy right now with President Trump. You know where I am. Come and get me.
He is such a cringy bitch man, dude.
Yeah.
And the sad thing is, like I said, everyone who doubts it, he is going to do just like Justin Trudeau. He's going to run and try to get in on girls who are stupid and vote because cute. That's all it's going to be.
Oh yeah,
he's shit otherwise.
he's basically Patrick Bateman if Patrick Bateman was, a raging homosexual.
Oh man, so good luck to those out there who are normal. I don't know if California can ever be saved because of retards like this. I don't know. Our franchises, hard to save our franchises because the retards are embedded both in the companies that run the franchises and those that shill for them and pretend that they're fans. So I don't know. But we will just hope it's in. And we you know what? We just take our business other places, or we focus on the franchises the way they used to be. Because here's a question right here for you guys right here. Someone on this one right here. Here's a question that I found, and I ask you this, and that is really bright. I need to lower the brightness on my screen because of that one. Men pick a few games, movies, and songs they like when they are 15 to 25, and then they don't consume any other media ever again.
If that was true, we wouldn't be bitching about anything.
It's sort of true. I think it's sort of true with music, definitely with music. Because
I think it can be, but my musical taste has and continues to evolve. So like it's not the same as it was 10 years ago or 10 years before that. So yeah.
I 100% agree with Sam. Like literally, when I was in high school, I used to listen to death metal. I would go down to San Francisco to the fucking clubs and see death metal bands and shit there. Now I hardly ever listen to it. It's my music opinions have changed a ton. Same thing with movies, same thing with stuff. A lot of the stuff I used to love so much doesn't even really have any new stuff coming out about it. So yeah, I think that's kind of a nah. I mean, there's always core things you'll love.
I think there's threads of truth in this.
I just think that like that's an absolutist statement, and I don't think that it's 100% true. Look, there are things that I picked way before 15 as my very favorite things of all time, and they still are. Like the movie Jaws, for example, favorite movie ever made, ever, and it has been since I was 3 years old. Right, that's over 40 fucking years of loving that movie. So yeah, there are things that we do choose early that stay with us our whole lives. But
for me, it's
I wouldn't say that it's everything. Yeah.
I mean, I am the anomaly. I kind of haven't my music tastes really haven't changed. I still like metal. I still like good rock, and I really like soundtracks to stuff. And if it has a good soundtrack, I like it. That's kind of it. I don't really branch out too far. I haven't gotten new music in forever. I can't remember last time I actually bought new music. But you're right about like the movie thing, because I think when it comes to especially movies, the formative years are important. Like you said, Jaws for me. I got introduced to Star Wars at 3 years old, and it has stuck with me all this time, all these decades later. And games, I will agree that to say games is wrong with 15 to 25, because lots of games that I truly, dearly love passionately, I didn't pick up till I was almost 30 at this point. Some of these franchises that I have grown and put in like my top tier franchises that I would go back to forever, and they have a special place in my life and how they influence me thinking, feeling, writing, stuff like that. And I would say like the only pre-15 gaming franchises, and when I say that, because it's very few single games from back then I can't even get my hands on, because that we're talking NES, Genesis, and SNES era, that kind of stuff. And you either need to get remasters or remakes or emulation to get your hands on some of those now. Only franchise I could say pre to that have still stuck with me are perhaps like Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy.
Yeah, so
that era. That's still
and that's so when between 15 and 25, there are a couple of franchises that I latched onto that are still among my favorite to this day. In fact, one of them recently got a re-release for the first 2 games. Suikoden. And then, I discovered actually after the PS5 came into possession, and PlayStation Store also had the original Blood Omen on it. Right, which is LOK is one of my favorite franchises of all time. It's unfinished, unfortunately, but it was incredible while it lasted, and it's one of those things that stuck with me. So yeah, I picked that up immediately too, because those were formative games for me. Like I played other stuff when I was a kid. Like I'm around long enough to have had a Commodore 64. But
me too.
Most of you guys won't know what that is, but it's fine because they didn't last very long. I still have a working Atari 2600 with like 600 cartridges and 2 working controllers for it. So I've been around a minute, but the games that stayed with me, were in that range that are putting it here. The problem that I'm having with this tweet is the last part of it, and then don't consume any other new media ever again.
That's wrong.
Blatantly false.
That is
it's like, sure, we've got our favorites, and for a lot of us, they stay our favorites, but that doesn't mean we don't ever pick up anything else.
Yeah. I mean, from 50, honestly, the more I think about it as we talk about it, from 15 to 25, nothing new has stuck with me. I mean, the pre 15 is when I got into the Lunar franchise. That's pre 15. I'm 13, 14 when I got into that, and that is one of the most influential franchises in my entire life. But from 15 to 25, that's rest of high school into college. I was still playing the old favorites and the old franchises all through that. And post 25, I didn't get into, first of all, we didn't get the likes of Dragon Age till post 25. And
it came out in what, 08, I think, the first one?
Origins came out in 09. Origins, because I bought it for Black Friday when I got it was one of the triggers for me to get my PS3. When I bought my PS3 came out in 06, and I bought my because I just went over this the other day when we were talking about this on a different show. I bought my PS3 in 2009, and it was one of the first games I bought for it. And I remember when I played it because I just moved to Florida for something. So Dragon Age Origins, Dragon Age in general, that's late 2000s. That I'm well over 25 at that point. Same with Mass Effect. I didn't get fully into Mass Effect. I tried it when it first came out, it didn't stick, but I didn't fall in love with it until 2017. 2016, 2017. That's when I fully fell in love with the Mass Effect franchise. So that at least for me in my era game, because I think whoever put this, obviously a woman. They also understand that
certainly cosplays this one.
Obviously, this woman doesn't take into account the different eras that a 15 to 25-year-old male will be taking part in gaming. Every 50 to 25 male is going to have a different era of gaming. And especially with what comes out and what's great. I mean, if you're 50 to 25 right now, the past 10 years, I feel sorry for you. It hasn't been a great 10 years of a lot of fantastic stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It has been great. I mean, there have been some gems. Don't get me wrong. There are always standouts. But this isn't like the late 80s, the 90s, the 2000s when franchises were being born and rocketing to massive success.
Yeah. Like, remember you do it sometimes when you show like those what are the 3 games you'd pick from this year, and you show all the successful games of that year and stuff.
We're going to go to one of those soon. Yeah, I got one of those.
Yeah, we used to have where you would literally have 20, 25, 30 games sometimes, or movies come out a year that were just gems. And now you're lucky if you get 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Quality has gone down.
For one.
We're lucky. I mean, it's been a good year so far, in several areas, but the good is always outweighed by the bad. So this is I thought this would be an interesting thing. It's one of the last things I picked up tonight before the show. I thought, I'm going to toss one out there. But you mentioned games. Let's play one of our favorite games. Let's bring up a list. Last time we did 1997, and I just happened to also have on hand
1998. 1998. Let's look at the list of the games. And hail everybody coming on in while we're talking. Hey, you guys, thanks for being here, guys. Yeah, you know, I handed out free gifties. You must have got one, Forkin. There you go, man. Thanks for hanging out. Hail, good sir, Algram. Okay, so 1998. There are some seriously good games on this list. Let's take a look. Saga Frontier, Final Fantasy Tactics. Oh, yeah. That's in the news right now. Xenogears, King of Fighters 98, Soul Calibur, Fallout 2, Thief, Turok 2, Banjo-Kazooie could blow itself out his ass. Spyro, Parasite Eve, StarCraft. That's StarCraft expansion. That's not even StarCraft 2. That's StarCraft expansion. Suikoden 2, Resident Evil 2, Crash Bandicoot, some Crash Bandicoot game.
Yep.
Grim Fandango. I don't actually know what that is. Ocarina of Time, Half-Life, Metal Gear Solid, and Street Fighter Alpha. And real quick, fork around with the membership chat. Hail to you, good sir. Hail to you. All right, so Sam, you want to go first?
Sure. Two obvious ones off the top of my head: Soul Calibur, Suikoden 2.
Yeah,
I like fighting games, and I think Soul Calibur is probably one of the best franchises ever made, even if it does not get the same amount of press that Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat do.
I think it's superior. Honestly, I believe it's superior 100%. To both those franchises.
It's absolutely better than this. Yeah. Particularly, Soul Calibur 3 with its character creation system and the side questy shit. It was incredible.
That was so good. I love that.
Yeah. And for the third, I would probably have to say Parasite Eve, because I was really into survival horror at the time, and that was one of the best.
It's an under the radar one. I wasn't into it, but I know the devotion that its fan base has when it came out. That was like Square Enix doing something different.
Yeah.
Forking around for hang on. Sorry. Forking around for $4.99. Crank Place getting monetized. Oh, thank you, my friend. I've been monetized for years, but thank you. I've been monetized for years. Thanks, man. Much appreciated. $4.99. And guys, remember, let me do a quick check. While we're doing this, because just to remind everybody, if you are coming in, we are a small 8 away from 4,000 subs. Just 8 subs away from 4,000. Just 8 away, man. So, well, you're here now, Forkin. You're here now, my friend.
And then he starts up his OnlyFans.
Thank you for the $4.99. Just hang out and chill out, chat it up. And remember, guys, hit that like button. Okay, Sam, keep going. Sorry.
What made Parasite Eve stand out? So this was the era where Resident Evil was reigning supreme in the genre, right? And there were a couple of other things like Dino Crisis, I think, was a little later, but that sort of spun off from that with a twist or whatever. But Parasite Eve was, as far as I know, the only one that actually adapted real science to an incredibly unbelievable and fantastical situation. Like everything in Resident Evil 2 is really, really bad science. You know?
But it's scary as shit.
Yes, it is. But like with Parasite Eve, so Eve is essentially harnessing the powerhouse of the cell to wreak havoc, which in theory is possible, right? Extremely unlikely, but possible. And it was an interesting concept, and it was a really, really interesting thing to kind of play around with in the game sphere, and how that could be a very, very bad thing.
Yeah. Devil, you want to weigh in before I go?
Yeah, I will pick Zelda, Ocarina of Time, Resident Evil 2, because I really think that's when I think 2 was better than 1 to me. And then I agree with Sam on Soul Calibur. I liked Soul Blade. I played that a shit ton. So when Soul Calibur came out, I was all psyched about it, and it just got so much better. Yeah. So
yeah, Soul Edge and Soul Edge 2 were fine games, but they really stepped it up with Soul Calibur.
There was something about Soul Calibur, yeah, and also it was the Dreamcast really made it possible at that point because it was the power of the system made it an incredible game to play. For me, it's pretty easy ones here. I mean, Suikoden 2, that was a masterpiece when I got it. I enjoyed Suikoden 1 so much, and then to have Suikoden 2 just make everything better than Suikoden 1. It's like Suikoden 1, but grander and better and more. You had to be a better tactician in the open world warfare. You had to actually maneuver your units. It wasn't just rock, paper, scissors. So it was glorious. Now, some of these I didn't come to right away, but I'm going to say they are masterpieces. Of course, right away, Final Fantasy Tactics for me, because this is my era where I didn't really range too far from RPGs or strategy. I didn't range too far. But Final Fantasy Tactics, it was one of the first times a non-mainline Final Fantasy game really grabbed hold of the zeitgeist for RPG gamers and strategy gamers, and it was just glorious. It had a fantastic story, great gameplay, and as I've told the story, I told it last week when I brought it up when we saw that they're releasing the new Ivalice Chronicles, the new remaster / remake, because it's got the original game on it and the new game on it, and it's cross-platform. This was the first game I ever traded in games for to get from GameStop, and I thought I was a genius. Like, I'm a genius. I just got this game for free.
Yeah, I gave 8 games for 1 game.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Now, not realizing, they're going to take those games I just gave them and they're going to mark them up to just $3 under new price. Yeah, I'm a genius. All right.
Yeah.
Now,
and then years later, it was 8 games for $5 credit.
Yeah. Sorry, no actual money. You get store credit. Sorry, no more giving you money, kid. Now, I will agree. Soul Calibur, fantastic. I've told my stories about playing that. I shout out to StarCraft because this is 98, so I was already playing with friends in BattleNet on Blizzard, BattleNet, and stuff like that. So I got into StarCraft as much as any other guy. It was a lot. We were playing on the LAN in freshman dorm. We were all into it. It was crazy. So it was a lot of fun with StarCraft. But I have to give
StarCraft's great.
Oh yeah, I've told you the story. Now this happened a year later. This is 99, 2000. We were in our sophomore dorm, and we were on another StarCraft. It would come and go. It comes and goes when you want to play it. And we were on a big StarCraft kick, and me and my buddy Jared, we were in his room, and our other buddy, he wasn't there half the time. He was off flitting about, but we were in there. And we were using his computer and my buddy Jared's computer. We're all both in the same room, and we'd fire up StarCraft. We'd get on BattleNet, and there was what was the map called? It was the standard map everybody used for free for all fighting. Basically, it had starting points in like an octagon type situation, and you meet in the middle for resources. And of course, we would title it free for all, FFA, 4v4 FFA, blah blah blah. Or maybe 5v5, FFA, free roll, that kind of stuff. Thing is, we were secretly aligned. We were secretly a team. So we would instantly know where we were, and we would basically be working together, and we would coordinate crushing everybody else on the map. And one of the best times was we would, of course, if I was playing Zerg or I was playing Terran Zerg, we would, of course, have a backup of one of our units build something in that base, just a problem. And one time a guy attacked one of us and said, "Wait a minute, that's a Zerg building in your Terran place. They're working together, everybody." And we just said, "Fuck it." We just annihilated, and we stopped fucking around. Just annihilated everybody instantly. It was glorious. So we were cheating like hell, but it was glorious. So I give a shout out to StarCraft, but I must give also a good participation award. I came to it years later. Xenogears.
a fascinating RPG. At that time, of course, actually the 4th or 5th in the series, which will become known as Xenosaga later on when they did the remakes of it on the PlayStation 2. But Xenogears, fascinating game, but such a terrible behind the scenes thing, because the first half of the game, outstanding, so deep, it's sort of that, and then you get to the second half, and it's just basically a bunch of narration and short blips and no mission, no overworld, nothing. And you're thinking, man, how did the game fall apart of this? And you learn years later that they ran out of money and they couldn't finish making the game properly. So they just kind of did what they could to salvage the end of it and just put it out as it was. So fantastic. And when Xenosaga was a huge hit, and they made Xenosaga 1, 2, and 3, and everybody's saying, okay, guys, now can you do a remake of Xenogears, please? Can we get a remake of Xenogears like it was intended? Huh? Please? But they never did. They never did. I would love a full remake of that entire series right now, so we can get it all as it was intended. I'd love that.
Might happen. Do you guys remember? Did they fix? I remember Turok 1, because I remember there was a big thing that all the promotional stuff had that like Indian with the short hair, and he looked like a badass. But then when you played the character in the game, he looked like literally straight up normal Indian dude, long hair, one feather. Like it was this whole thing. Do you think they
played?
I can't remember Turok 2 for anything, so I don't know if they fixed that.
I never played.
The Turok games are first person, so like I don't know where you would see yourself exactly.
There's when you first start and stuff, it's a image from out, and it like I think the camera spins around him, and then you become the first person view. But yeah, they used the dude looked straight up just like a normal average Indian and stuff, but then in all the promotional stuff they use is like savage badass looking one, and it would piss people off because they were like, wait, that's not the character that you're showing us on all the advertisements, all the posters and stuff, and the cover. So
I don't know.
I just
remember
remember
hearing anything about that.
Yeah, my cousin was pissed about it. He's all like, "That's not fucking. He's not cool." So okay, I'll shoot dinosaurs either way. It's all right.
Now, of course, out here there are some other games that we haven't mentioned specifically, but were major. I mean, Fallout 2, huge. Fallout 2, huge. Half-Life. I'm not a Half-Life guy. Never interested in the franchise, but Half-Life is freaking massive still. A dedicated
Half-Life gave us Portal.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Half-Life, massively influential, has a massive loyal fan base to this day. And of course, right there, Metal Gear Solid. I tried playing Metal Gear Solid when it came out, and I sucked at it. And I didn't get it's not much I sucked at it. I just wasn't having fun. So it was a rental. I didn't own it. It was a rental. And I was like, you know what? I've tried this. I'm not really getting it. I love the original NES game, but I'm not really getting this. And of course, Metal Gear Solid has gone on to be one of the biggest franchises in gaming history in the past 30 years. So
yeah,
there's some major players here, and some of them not so much. I don't know what Grim Fandango is. I don't know what that is.
I've played it, but it was decades ago, and so I don't really remember it too much. It was just like a fun little weird, quirky, story-driven game.
Well, this was also obviously towards the beginning of the cartoony, games. You have the Crash Bandicoot in there. You have Spyro. You have Banjo-Kazooie. All those games where it was there. They were quirky and kind of fun to play. Ratchet and Clank, all them, but
yeah.
So
I was never into any of those. I don't get the Crash love. I don't get the Spyro has its fan base still. It got a re-release a year ago, I think. Banjo-Kazooie, that thing has been forgotten by time. They recently did a new King of Fighters game. Actually, there's a new King of Fighters game out.
I've always loved the King of Fighters.
Hey,
always loved that.
That gave us some very classic gaming babes. Mai Shiranui, who's now part of Street Fighter. They put Mai into Street Fighter now. She's transitioned over there. and all her
Oh,
glorious.
don't say she transitioned. Don't
Oh,
put it that
stop! You
way.
know why? I'm not.
Ruin everything.
Don't put your head in that place. She's got giant tits. She's one of the original video game whores next to Chun-Li. Okay.
I always preferred her over Chun-Li, to be honest.
Hey, listen.
Dude, my quest counter chick Alma in Monster Hunter Wilds currently looks like Chun-Li.
Oh man! So
I bought the skin.
So this was a 98 great year, and this isn't even everything that came out in 98. I mean, there are other things that came out, of course, but these are some of the most memorable games. That's why while we enjoy these lists, there are other games that came out, but 98 was fantastic, glorious, and to be remembered. This is when all these gaming companies were hungry. They're putting games out on a regular basis every 1 to 2 years. None of this 5-6 year development bullshit. So it was great, and I miss this era of gaming, and I wish it would come back. It's sort of coming back. I mean, the AA sphere, they're doing good work. They're doing good work, and we appreciate them that they're hungry. And that's why I keep saying in the next couple of years, they're going to be the new AAA in a couple more years. They'll be the new AAA. They will.
I think so.
Take over.
Like I picked up this this little indie gym a couple of weeks ago called Edge of Sanity, and it's cell shaded, it's 2D, it's side scrolling, right? And it's a survival game. Like you got to go find resources so your people don't starve to death. And to make matters worse, there's also a secretive organization that has been experimenting on things and opening portals to Cthulhu-like realms. It's a whole thing. Anyway,
of course, that makes you interested.
It's gorgeous, and the voice acting. Well, yes, I play a lot of tentacle horror themed games. I do. This is a fact. But in this case, I mean, it's beautifully rendered. It's the voice acting is top notch. Actually, it's quite good. And I'm enjoying the hell out of it. You know what? You're not going to find that in AAA company these days.
No.
The fun isn't there. Is what I'm saying. It's
No,
like these guys still remember that an integral part of gaming is that it has to be fun.
I mean, I keep saying this, and this week we're starting tomorrow. I'm going to try tomorrow, get some time in. Start tomorrow. We're going to try and finish episode 33 this week. This has been a glorious AA game. Fantastic. With the best of Ubisoft opened their own company and made an outstanding game with like 34 people on staff, or less than 50 people. I mean, it's an amazing game. Hell, even Jed's liking it. Jed hates single player turn-based games like this. We don't hate single player. He hates turn-based games like this. But the
I've
dodge
heard it's
parry
good,
mechanics,
but I don't hate turn-based games, but I hate the French. So
you and Kel, it's like damn Frenchy game. Every time I turn it on, Kel's like, Frenchy game, no. But it's a beautiful game. The soundtrack section, the gameplay is engaging as hell. I mean, I told the story the other day. I'll tell it again. So I'm in Act 3 right now. We're in the end game, and Act 3 is largely optional. Everything to do outside of, because you can end Act 2 and go right to the main ending battle. You can go right in there, and I could have, because I'm massively over level. I was massively over level when I beat Act 2, but when you get Act 3, due to a certain achievement, the rest of the map will open up to you. You're able to explore everything, remaining stuff, fly around, all this stuff. So while I haven't streamed it, I have, of course, been exploring and doing stuff and leveling, very over leveling, because that's part of my strategy in this game, be over leveled in case I'm failing on dodging and parrying, which is going to happen because sometimes the combos that the mobs and the boss are using, they're insane. They're insane sometimes. And there's no way I can keep up with the whole thing. I'm going to take damage. So I try to have enough defense. Currently, I'm running a bit of a speed build so I can attack more first and kill things quickly. Sure. But I'm over leveled. The level cap is 99. There's a trophy for it. I'm going for it. My 3 main characters that I use, they're all 92 right now. So I'm getting real close. But the other day, I was still dicking around, leaving some things that I'm going to leave for stream and some things are not, because I determined, well, if this dungeon now is really super, super easy for me, what's the point of me running it on stream? I'm just going to steamroll it. It's not really exciting for the chat. So I finished off this one dungeon I came back to because I went and did another dungeon called the Endless Tower, which is just 11 3-stage part fights filled with bosses. So that was just me changing my strategies, and I beat them all. Took me a couple days. Really fun, and it went from like level 87 to 92 in the process. So then I'm leaving that, and I go back to kill another boss at the end of another dungeon. I figure, okay, I just beat his clone in this. I could probably kick his ass, and I did. Beat him down, no problem. So I leave that dungeon, except that doesn't take me back out to the main map. Suddenly, I'm in a little tunnel, and it says the Abyss. So of course I'm going to go down the Abyss. Well, why not? Why don't we do that? Now, mind you, I'm playing on the hardest difficulty level, as I always do. I go down there, hit the bottom. Let's just say I believe I found the hardest boss in the game. And even at level 92 of 99, with my 3 best geared, I've got all the builds, the points allocated for sub skills and all that kind of stuff. I got my weapons are just about all maxed out. Missing a few things here and there, but I could go beat the game probably handily right now. This dude, stage 1, I realized, wow, this is really easy. This had to be a phase 1. His phase 2. My God. There's a mechanic in this game where I can give the party members shielding, like little shield icons, to absorb blows. Of course, they have to die to do that, but it's a mechanic. It's a tactic that I use. He steals your shields and puts them on himself. Okay? Steals your shields, and without too many spoilers for people, he's wielding a big-ass freaking sword. And in phase 1, I'm starting to get the handle of his combo, like parry, dodge. I'm getting the rhythm for it. Well, yeah, there's still sort of the same moves in the phase 2, but his sword has a spectral after slash that you also have to try and parry or dodge. So it's like stop, no. So I have no chance. I tried it for like 30 minutes. I was even recording and thinking, okay, I'm going to fight this guy since I'm doing it here on my own. If I beat him now, I'll record it, and then I'll play at the beginning of the next stream. Say, look, guys, I did it. Yay. Watch me. Yeah, after about 30 minutes, this ain't happening. I'm not, whatever my builders are now.
Congratulations. You found the French Lubu.
Yeah, you're not wrong. So even at 92, I've backed out. There are still other things for me to complete. There's still another semi-dungeon. There's a couple of other things I have to do, and a couple of story point things, which will give me, for lack of a better term, some level 3 limit breaks on some of the other characters. I still got to do a couple of things, so I can still finish up to 99, get a few more things done, probably get a few more Pictos, a few more, get the last weapon upgraded of one of the main team that I'm using. And then I have to think about a strategy because he's not unbeatable. Of course, if you were some master person that can magically dodge and parry everything, of course you'll beat him. But that's not me. As good as I am, there are limits to my dodging and parrying ability. So I'm going to have to go in there. I mean, I tried one strategy where I didn't use any shields, but then even when he doesn't steal my shields, I can't survive his stuff. And then also in phase 2, if one of your characters is temporarily dead, he will remove them from the field. You can't raise them. So then you're down to 2 and then down to 1. And yes, I have a backup team, but they're not, they can't handle this. They're not strong enough to handle this guy. Because I could say the character, if Mayel isn't there, I ain't winning this fight. Because I have a respect where she could do millions of points of damage in a turn if she goes off correctly. And so if she disappears, it's over. It's done. So I got to figure something out to beat this guy. I got to figure something because I will beat him, and I'll beat him on the hardest difficulty level. I will record it, and I'll put it up as a goddamn video. Look, I did it on hardest difficulty. Praise me. So yeah, I found the hardest boss, I believe, and he's a peach. He's a peach, but it's glorious. It's a challenge, and I will beat him. I will freaking listen. I beat the Valkyrie Queen on God of War 1 on God of War difficulty level. Took me 3 days and a nearly broken thumb from the amount of pressure I put on it. But I beat her. Cheaty bitch. I beat the cheaty bitch, but I beat her. I'll beat this motherfucker too. That's what gamers want.
Yeah.
That's what we want. We want this. We live for this. We enjoy it. And that's what, to go back to the whole point of the conversation, that's what the AA developers are giving us. Excitement, fun, entertainment. And I'm glad. I'm glad it's that, because it would be depressing if the AAAs were all there was right now. I'd be living in retro land like a lot of other people would be right now. I'd be living there.
Like I am, generally.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to be going back in time for Lunar. At some point, we'll go back and we'll play Suikoden 2. I'll be playing. I mean, I think it's AA 2. I mean, Alpha and I are going to start playing Space Marine 2 this weekend for co-op night. So, it's where it's at. And Dark Tide is co-op. Starship Troopers is AA 2. They're making good games, and I'm glad they're there and they're hungry. You can feel it. They're hungry. All right, I got one more conversation started. Speaking of gaming, this became official last week, and I held on to it because I knew we were gonna eventually talk about it here. Actually, no. It was last week. Yeah, I knew we were gonna talk about it. Whether we like it or not, a Mass Effect TV show is happening because they've got a showrunner. Yeah, I'm not happy about this. I don't want this. I don't want it. I mean, we've talked about this past when this story first broke a year ago, and they didn't have a showrunner, and they were still shopping showrunner and writers, all this stuff. We said no, please, because the same things we said then we're going to say now. What possible story are you going to tell that won't piss off real Mass Effect fans? Because you can't choose Shepard, because both FemShep and Male Shep are legitimate as a choice. So you can't canonize one or the other. You can't can't make a story about, at least for 2 games, where your choices mattered and influence other games. You can't do something where choices matter. The only chance you have is if you do something that's taking place with the war against the Reapers as a backdrop. But even then, where's the interest if it's not about the characters you love? Not a bad feeling about this.
I don't know. The only way that they because they're, so as far as I know, Mass Effect 4 is still within the realm of possibility, right?
Oh, they're working on it. It's happening. It's just,
so there are already plans. So there are already plans for where the story is going to go, right?
Yeah.
So they can't really tell that one unless they just adapt, a story that's already been told, which is possible. They might do that. The only thing I can think of is I don't know, prequel.
Yeah,
Shep's backstory.
But Shep has 3 different backstories.
How he got to N7.
But Shepard has 3 different backstories.
Right.
This is you think it's a good idea, but it's not. I don't want a prequel. I don't want a prequel about anything. I just don't want this franchise I'd love to be bastardized any more than it has. Because whatever is going to happen with Mass Effect 4, Mass Effect 5, whatever you want to call it, depending on where you slot Andromeda and all this, I will call it Mass Effect 4 like you did, because it is 4. It's the 4th game. Andromeda's Andromeda, separate thing.
Well, it is. Andromeda is a spin-off series, so
yeah. But some people are still calling this. Some people are still calling this Mass Effect 5. No, it's Mass Effect 4. It's Mass Effect 4. I agree with you. But I mean, and it's taking place hundreds of years later, which means many of the characters won't be alive anymore. And again, depending on how you play the game, Shepard may or may not have survived the Reaper War, depending on what you chose. So I don't. Oh, we lost him. Shitternet.
Damn it. Yeah. Well, you said they can't. They shouldn't. is where really
Yeah,
they
shouldn't.
can.
Yeah, you're right. That's a
And
better way to put it. They shouldn't.
and let's be honest, chances are it's going to be femship, just because it's an
Femship
easy
and
way for
gay.
them. Yeah,
Femship and gay.
femship, lesbian. That's going to be where they go with it. Which, like I said, is
Or
at least in
God.
this it's legitimate because you can be fem or
Yeah.
you can. It's at least they're not race or gender swapping a character because you can be both.
Mm.
But I do think they're going to do it for this. What's the word I'm looking for? My brain just like completely farted. The message of it.
Message.
Yeah, agenda.
Hey,
Perfect.
they might go as far as make a Fem-ship. That would be great, wouldn't it?
Oh, geez.
Well, I mean, now this is Prime Video. Jennifer Salke isn't there anymore. I don't know exactly who's in charge over there anymore. So there's at least that as a possible silver lining that maybe it won't get destroyed. But it's Amazon. I have no faith in this. And again, what story can you tell that won't ruin it for real fans?
Which is why real fans probably won't be watching this, regardless of how it turns out.
Well, gonna have to.
No, you have to because it's part of your job. I don't have to do any such thing.
And well, it's also part of my job, but also as a passionate Mass Effect fan.
Yeah,
I've played the game so many times. I know it left and right and center. I could have insight into this stuff. Maybe not all the insights, but quite a good deal of insight as to whether or not this is doing the job with whatever they try to do.
Yeah.
I mean, the closest thing I would accept is maybe show us the Rachni War. That's the closest thing I would accept because that's like a point in history that we've only heard about. Like the uplifting of the Krogan, the fighting of the Rachni, the Reapers and the Collectors, or maybe even the it was Leviathan that tried to get the Rachni set up to fight against the Reapers. If that's the way you want to look at it, that would be interesting because that's like a historical moment that I'd like to see more details on.
Sure, and it would be great to see that, but you're not the only way that you're going to see that shit, man, is through like flashbacks or like momentary things, because that was before humans stepped foot into the galaxy.
Yeah, you're
at
right.
large,
You're right.
and
You're right.
they're going to want a human protagonist.
You're right. But that is me as a Mass Effect fan trying to find a way to make this fun for myself.
Oh, sure.
Where I don't need a human Spectre. I don't need any of that stuff. Yeah, so.
Right. I would love to be in the lab with the Solarian scientists who decided to, essentially commit a slow genocide.
Morden. He's there. That could be. It's a beloved character. Morden Solis. He could be there. The professor. That would be great. I mean, if they make it sort of like an anthology where you follow maybe these characters at pivotal points in history, I could be okay with that. Mm-hmm. Points that are sort of set in stone, like the creation of the genophage, or maybe Anderson's encounter with God, what was the first villain's name? Saren. Yeah. Maybe Anderson's first encounter with Saren. That you could get, but it's live action, so you couldn't get.
I mean, if you're gonna go there, like, why not just do like all we ever got were like log entries and stuff and some comments between specific characters. Why not actually do the human Turian conflict?
Yes. If they make this a historical series where they're going to cover things we only heard about in the games, that would qualify as prequels. I'd be interested in because I want to see these moments in history in the lore. I want to see these moments in lore brought to life. That would be cool. That would be cool. But those are things that are set in stone that you didn't influence, so I can accept that. But I have a feeling they're not going to do that. I have a feeling they're not smart enough to do that. Whoever Doug Jung is from Mindhunter, I don't even know what Mindhunter is. I don't even know what that is. Mindhunter. I don't know.
Serial killer stuff, I think.
Oh. Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's like a FBI special agent profiler kind of thing. Yeah.
Oh man. That's not the kind of person that should be doing Mass Effect.
I could be wrong about that. I could be
right.
wrong, but you know,
All
I think it had something to do with that. Yeah.
Mm.
What was the name of the show?
Mindhunter. Yeah, Devil, you look it
Yeah.
up. You look it up. Look it up.
Yeah, Mindhunter was it was
Okay.
profiling. It was like I think the original kind of when it first started hunting.
You want to talk about
mind.
history? Take me back to Leviathan making Harbinger and the AI. Show me that. You could get a season of that. I mean, that's like just an episode or something. I want to see those moments, man. That's the stuff I want to see.
Yeah,
I don't
Or like when the space gypsies fuck their home planet.
Yeah. Show me the birth. Show me the migrant fleet being born. Show me that shit. I mean, we get blips of that in Mass Effect 3. You get blips of seeing the Geth revolt and all that kind of stuff. You get blips of that when you and Legion are going through the records and you're trying to free them from the influence of the Reaper that's acting as a core on Rannoch. But that show me the historical stuff. I mean, we're just throwing out the historical moments of the lore now. That's shit we want to see.
Some more in-depth stuff on the Protheans would be cool. You know,
show me the Prothean Reaper War from with Javik. Show me all that. Show that, because we got pieces of it. We don't get the whole thing.
Right.
I mean, that's the cool stuff. But no, they're gonna want to write a Shepard story that fucks.
Well, of course, Shepard's the face of the series, man. Like they try it. I liked Andromeda overall. You know, I thought the game was fine.
It's been too people have been too harsh on Andromeda.
But what Andromeda lacks ultimately is Shepard. Shepard is the face of the franchise, right? If they're going to make a Mass Effect show, they're going to put Shepard in it because that's what's going to draw people one way or the other.
If they retold Andromeda and decided to tell that entire story through a series, I would watch that though. Yeah. I'd watch that because they're never going to tell the rest of that story. So,
you know, and that's, I'm a little disappointed about that actually, because there was some places they were going that I was actually interested in, but I liked Andromeda. I'm not going to apologize for that.
Well, I mean, I played it after all the drama was about it. I was late to that party too. So I was fixed by the time I played it. Now,
I didn't know anything about the drama, man. I wasn't even on the internet at the time. I was like, oh, look, another Mass Effect game. I haven't played this one.
I heard like little things about it being broken, about bugs, stuff like that. But when I played it, it was all fixed. It was fine. And granted, is that crew better than the crew of the Normandy? No, they're not. They're not the crew of the Normandy.
No, and some of them are like.
Now listen, the romance options sucked at that game. The romance options were dick. I hated
most of them were pretty gay, but
well, no, literally, the only hot chick in that is the Scottish navigator, and she's gay.
I don't know. I kind of like PB, but yeah.
Listen. Yes, did I have sex with PB? Yes, but it was the fling sex. I didn't get with her. I just said the fling sex.
No, I did the full romance with PB.
See, I found she was fun for the fling sex. In the end, when I was male writer, I ended up screwing Marine chick from Marine wannabe a sorry chick, because at that point she was all that was left for me. At that point, I was like, well, okay, had my fling with PB. I'm gonna do this now. When I was fem writer, I had an affair with the smuggler scoundrel dude on Smuggler World. That's who I had an affair with, because it's like I listen. I can't get with Rasta man. I'm not getting with Alien dude. No, that ain't happening. And I'm not gonna be gay with PB. So what's one of my choices here? I'm not gonna be gay with Scottish chick because she should have been straight.
That actually kind of brings up something to mind that I think also Andromeda was lacking in, because like it came off as a super ambitious thing, but the problem is number one, you didn't have all of your familiar alien races there, and when the ones who were there were only there in extremely limited numbers. It was basically just you and your crew, right? The Quarians hadn't even made it yet.
Yeah,
right? They weren't even in the galaxy.
Missing DLC.
And as far as new races go, I mean, you're in a new galaxy. There's so much to explore. There's a fucking black hole at the center of the area that you're in that's visible almost from everywhere, which was very cool, by the way. But there's only one fucking new race. aside, well, the two, I guess.
Aside from
There's
the
what's his name
antagonist.
who joins you, and then there's the antagonist, and that's
Yeah.
that's it. There was so much cool stuff about like ancient tech, like Prothean era tech, except it was supposed to be these other guys.
The engineers.
But you only ever encountered 2 new species in the sentient species in the entire run, and I'm just like, like the missed opportunity to just kind of expand, right? To introduce some new cool stuff and some make it truly alien, right? Because I felt like I was basically fighting the fucking Reapers again, except they had a different face.
Mm-hmm. Actually, they were easier because none of them could make barriers. These guys couldn't make barriers. So with the combat, now I thought the combat system was very cool. I liked switching between the different presets that I had created, and of course the sandbox battle environment where you could go anywhere and fight anywhere. That was fantastic, especially for a sniper like myself. Once I unlocked the Black Widow schematic, they were done.
The jump jets were a cool addition too. I really liked the mechanic there.
Yeah. The only problem was that your vehicle didn't have a weapon, so all it was good for was stop, get out, and use it for cover.
I fell off a couple of mountains with that thing a couple of times.
But it was so it was I agree with you, ambitious. It had its problems, but they weren't. I think people have a very just sour taste from its launch, and the fact, like you said, no Shepard, and they just didn't think it all the way through right away in terms of making the story. They left too many things undone and then abandoned it for financial reasons and pressure reasons from EA and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that was a shame because the whole game takes place in one measly sector of an entirely new galaxy. There was so much more they could have expanded on. It would have been. It could have been something really great, but instead it was it was an okay spinoff from a great series.
Yeah, and I mean, people used to make fun of it with like the character creator. Oh, look, Ryder's so ugly. No, you can make Ryder look freaking hot. My femme Ryder, she was smoking hot by the time I put a lot of work into her to make her look cool.
So my femme Ryder was a hot Asian chick, but her brother was still a Caucasian dude.
My femme Ryder sort of ended up being Asian too in a way. She had a pretty Asian look to her by the time I was done with it. Yeah. But I went for like white hair, like silver hair, and of course, at this point, we're far enough along in BioWare's history where they would allow character editing as the game went on. So as the game went on, I would change her hairstyle the more serious she got about doing the job. And so it was good. And I enjoyed the hell out of playing it when I did. I played it 3 times. Stopped at my third playthrough because I was going for a trophy, romance 3 different people in 3 different playthroughs. So that's one of the reasons I was playing for them. But I lost all that progress when my last PS4 hard drive ate itself.
Yeah.
So, never went back. I mean, it's still there. It's on the shelf. But maybe someday if I'm bullied into playing it, I'll play it again.
All right.
But,
game's fine. Ariel, I'll ask Larry about that.
Oh no, is that thing where the crazy shit you guys make up and we got?
Yeah, we started a new one this week, and it's shaping up to be pretty funny.
Well, listen. We are. I mean, in seriousness, we are getting close. It's probably going to happen right now with my schedule is right now, and the fact that I still need to finish working on it. But we're getting close to tabletop on this channel. We're getting close to tabletop being aired. We've pretty much got our players for the first of 3 campaigns. We're just zeroing on the final day. I think it's going to be on a Sunday because we couldn't do it tonight because we'd have to do it before. And one of the players wouldn't be available before. And I want to give everybody who's playing the first time a chance to do it on these days. So we're probably going to do it on Sundays between Roundtable and when I record Wormhole Watch with Brad and Fractured and Hitman with Sam. I know you're going to be on now. And I know Brad and I couldn't say it to Fractured last night, but I know exactly which episode you're coming on for.
Yeah, it's in like a year and a half, but yeah.
I know, yeah. Well, I know, but I know what it is. I know what your favorite episode is, so I know exactly which one you're coming on for. Yeah. So we're kind of putting it together. Jed and I have zeroed in on the software that we're going to use. I've got the overall story for all 3 campaigns Up here, I'm just fine-tuning a couple things for the initial session once we get started, because what it is, just to let people know that, as I said, there are 3 campaigns, but they're all going to be happening simultaneously. So what's going to happen is the first team to play a campaign will essentially get to choose through events in our very first session which path they're going to go down, and route, so to speak, for anime game fans. So yeah, they're going to go which route they're going to choose. And then subsequently, we'll have 2 more campaigns, and then they will get to choose one of 2. And then, of course, the final one, they'll be left with the single campaign. So we're going to give people a lot of chances to do that. And it is based on my original stuff. It's a D&D campaign, but it's based on my original works. The game will be called Chronicles of Rosetra, Seeds of Malice. So you guys are going to be taking part in the history of my first series of books, and events that you will help create will, of course, be mentioned going forward, because you are now taking part in the history. Now, that being said, I'm not going to make you guys do stuff. It's going to be pretty freewheeling. There's going to be some level of freedom, but you are going to be semi on rails, and it's looking like it's going to be a lot of fun. And of course, when we do this, it will be live streamed. Maybe character creation will just be recorded, but the actual sessions will be live streamed, like 2, maybe 3-hour sessions. And the chat will have a chance to also be involved. Jed and I come up with some mechanics that will allow the chat to get involved through super chats and tips and stuff like that. Perfect example, reach a certain threshold, and chat, you can give +1, +2 bonuses to what the players are doing in the game. Or maybe you could do negative effects. For one thing, we'll give you a choice, something like that. Make it hard for them. Make it fun. Make it interesting. So you guys are going to have a chance to influence the game, have some fun with it yourselves. So look forward to that. At this point, kind of looks like it's going to start at the end of the month, because now that Doctor Who is over, I have a little more free time on the weekends, and on Mondays, I have a little more room to work. So as soon as I finish working out the bullet points, and the next week or so, I'm going to be sitting down and I'm going to be putting down all the stats for enemies, gear, leveling, classes, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to be putting it all down on paper, and so that we can get it all out there. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I hope everybody's going to join us for that. It should be a good time. And if everything goes to plan, with everything, both with the channel and that and everything out, we might be able to coincide the final campaign with the launch of my book. We might be able to get that all lined up. Nice little thing there, because we're going to put together a website, and it's going to be like a faux crowdfunding thing. So, because nobody trusts Indiegogo anymore. I wouldn't give Indiegogo money if you paid me. So
we're going to call it Only Hoses.
No. It's just So we're going to set up like a faux booking thing, run a 60-day campaign for crowd. It's going to be crowdfunding, because I can't afford to like make the book get printed or anything, but that's where everybody comes in. So if we cross the threshold that I'm looking for the channel, if the campaigns are over and it looks like I'm going to be able to move to Florida, then it looks like everything will fall into place, and we can get there, and it'll be a lot of fun. And I hope everybody will be excited for all this great stuff. This is kind of part of the plan. The more than just the channel is about than covering pop culture stuff. It's bringing you guys new stuff, bringing guys fun things, interactive stuff. That's kind of what I'm all about these days, interactive stuff. Let you guys, the chat, be involved with as much of the shows as possible, like we do every Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern on the Daily Diver. You, the chat, run the show. You make me do things I don't want to do half the time. Anyway, all right. You guys got anything you want to bring up?
Sorry, Devil, did you have some?
Yeah, let's make him watch some epic mealtime.
Yeah, that on Double D's. If it's YouTube safe, I'll watch stuff.
I'm assuming at some point in the last week you've probably covered this on another show somewhere, but you did see the reveal of Chopper for. Oh
yes, I
action,
did.
Right?
I did a whole segment on Double D's. Yeah, you want to talk about that?
I mean, sure.
I'll talk about it again. I still have it bookmarked. Let's bring up old Chopper from live action One Piece, which looks like nightmare fuel.
Like it could have been a lot worse, but you're right. I'm not 100%. I'm not that happy with it either. It's kind of meh.
Hang on, let me switch it over because we got to. If we're gonna talk about it, we could talk about the audio. Because I covered it on Double D's a couple weeks ago. I think I didn't make. Did I make a segment on it? Did I clip it out? I don't know if I did, but I did talk about it because Dermy and I didn't get to talk about it on Anime Odyssey, so I brought it up on. I brought it up for this. So yeah, here it is. Let's watch it real quick. Devil, have you seen this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, let's
I
watch
did
it.
not like it. Mhm.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I know you did. Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. You were there with me in the chat in the DM room. I didn't like this.
Chopper, you're hiding the wrong way. We can all see you. Chopper, come out!
Hi, Tadoom. My name is Tony Chopper, and I'm sorry I can't be there in person, but...
The voice.
I'm supposed to...
It's a woman. Now, it's a woman. Now, Chopper has always been voiced by a woman.
That's not my issue.
No. Let me sorry. I'm prefacing this so nobody can attack us on this. We know that Chopper has always been voiced by a woman, both in English and Japanese voice acting. But this chick doesn't even sound like Chopper's 14 right here. He's 14. It's not what a 14-year-old boy sounds like.
The personality's all off. It doesn't. It's not. They're not playing it like Chopper from the anime. At least.
Yeah. I mean, right here. I mean, they at the end here. We'll get to it. It does the fake. Chopper will tell you he doesn't like to be praised. He'll call you names, but he actually likes it, and it's just wrong.
Tell you about One Piece Season 2. Help! Someone call a doctor!
That's not a Chopper joke right there.
No, it's not.
That's not a Chopper joke.
No.
It's not an English Chopper joke at all. No.
Yeah, I don't. The voice is throwing me off pretty badly because it's like, and I understand. Look, it's not going to be 1-to-1. I get that. There's something about this voice that I find way more grating than I do in the animation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I think they're trying to do? This is their attempt at trying to add woman candy, girl candy to the show. Just like Grogu is, just like all that stuff. All these companies, they try to add something, some little cute character that they can sit there and sell to women, and women will buy a plushie of and shit like that. And that's why they're kind of making it the way they are, is because they're all like, that'll be our girl candy right there. And all the girls will be like, oh my God, Chopper, he's so cute.
Problem is, this isn't cute Chopper. It's not. It's
not to you, but some girl.
It doesn't. But
I have a backpack of this.
Chopper has always been one of my favorite characters. When he was first introduced, I was like, Chopper's great. I'm enjoying his story. His story, Drum Island, is an outstanding arc. And I don't know if this is going to come off well. Like when Chopper's going to have to scream and stuff, leave me alone on Monster, or when in those key moments at the end of Drum Island when Luffy's fighting and he's needing Chopper's help. I feel like this voice actress, who was actually in the Super movie, she is playing Cat Grant in the Superman movie. She's playing Cat Grant in the Superman movie. I feel she's a hot chick in real life. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like this is a total freaking miscast. Total miscast.
And maybe that's it. And it's also. I mean, we're just seeing a teaser here. Maybe they will do better in the actual show. I don't know, because this was made specifically outside of the episodes to sort of introduce the audiences to the character, and visually, like all the details are there. Like even down to the
nose,
the metal band that's holding the fucking antler on the left side of his head, but it's just off. You know what I mean?
And let's finish it up, and I'll say a couple more things here.
Oh wait, I am a doctor.
Come on, Chopper, you can do it.
Oh, okay. One Piece Season 2 is coming in 2026, and you'll get to meet new friends and foes. And me.
You did it, Chopper! Everyone, give him a hand!
Wait, is it over? Shut up! I don't need your clapping, you jerks.
See, there's the problem there. That's the classic Chopper joke. Don't praise me, even though I want to be praised. The facial expressions, I don't see it. It's wrong. It's not conveying Chopper's.
It's not there. There's hardly any movement in the
Yeah.
the fucking surrounding facial muscles.
Yeah, and leading up to that, her diction, the way she's saying the words, they're kind of running together in a way that's grating on my ears for a voice. There's all kinds of problems with it. So, and now, and this is all CGI. It's gonna be all CGI. And how are you gonna give me now? Remember, there's two more classic forms of Chopper that we'll see in Drum Island. There's full reindeer, and then there's human-sized Chopper, and bulky human size, and that's gonna be I don't think it's gonna look good.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about that too, and especially like looking at the CGI right here around the hat, you can see where it's been spliced into the fucking background, right? It's very, very obviously done. The problem with that is that you can't see where it differentiates from his fucking face. It doesn't look like he's wearing a hat. It looks like that's his head, his whole head.
Yeah. So, and then of course, on top of everything, they said 2026. That's 3 years between season 1 and season 2.
Yeah.
And on top of everything, I don't know if you caught this one. I did a short on it. I did a comment on it. I did a segment on it, but I made it into a short. Lego is releasing One Piece Lego sets, but it's on Netflix live action Opla, not actual One Piece. And the reaction from actual One Piece hardcore weeb fans is like, yeah, no thanks. I'm not buying this.
That's
money on the table.
I don't know that I would have had this reaction to this version of Chopper if I hadn't watched the fucking 700 episodes of One Piece in between when I saw Opla and now. Because when I saw Opla, I hadn't watched any of the anime at all, and I liked it just fine. And going back, I can still enjoy the hell out of it. It's a different show. You know, but yeah, like if I had not watched however many fucking episodes in between, I don't know that I would have had a problem with this Chopper, aside from the fact that visually he looks a little wonky. Just judging from an effects sort of thing.
It remains to be seen if the normies are going to accept this, or the dermies who said it's fine. No, I wanted to slap him for saying that, but he might
should have slapped him for saying that.
Well, I mean, like Nuxtaku reacted to this too, and he was just like, you know what? It's fine. It could have been a lot. It's not nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Could have been worse, but I just feel I feel like, to me, it's nightmare fuel. And to Sam's point, being the One Piece veteran that I am, I once again will say I am not the target audience, but I just feel like there's something wrong here. And I could put my finger on it, but there's other parts I can't quite put my finger on it.
Yeah.
Now, it might work itself out when we get to Drum Island in live action, which will be the end of the season, because they did split it between the first part of entering the Grand Line and then Alabasta, which was the smart move. That's the intelligent move. But I just don't. They set a decent bar with season 1. But season 2, once they hit the Grand Line, after Logtown, in the Grand Line, crazy, insane shit happens. And I just don't know if they're capable, even with Oda there, even with Oda Sensei overlooking it all, giving final approval when he still can. I don't know if they can pull this off for season 2. And then I definitely don't know if they can pull off season 3, which they're still filming it right now, I believe, or they just might have finished filming it recently.
I mean, I will probably give this a shot just because
I'm going to watch it
for season. So
I will watch it and do a review of it this time.
Yeah,
I will do a review. But
first impressions, I'm not impressed with this.
Me neither. I don't like it. But again, I'm not the target audience. Maybe, and at this point, I don't think you're the target audience either.
Yeah. Thanks, Dermy. Thanks, Dermy. You took something I was enjoying and you made it fucking suck. I appreciate that so much. If you're out there listening, fuck you.
Anyway, yeah. So we're probably gonna get we got that faux teaser trailer for season 2 a week or so ago, which didn't really show you anything. It was just a bad representation of the crew hanging out inside the Mary, which was not good either.
I actually appreciate that they're not showing,
Yes.
what's actually happening in the show yet. Like, I agree with you that the teaser was pretty poorly executed and dumb, but I also appreciate the fact that they're not just like going like, oh, look what's in this upcoming season. We're showing you all the stuff ahead of time.
They'll do it, and then they'll do it by the end of the year as we get closer to next year. They're going to have to, and I'll be less critical this time because remember the original trailers for the season 1 were just god awful, and everybody thought it was going to be a nightmare, and it turned out to be halfway decent. But this is a different game now. You're getting deeper into the lore, and when Dermy and I have broken this down over and over again, once you cross Logtown and get into the Grand Line, there, all the things they changed in season 1. There's no room for changes. You can't move points of the story around just to get there faster anymore. You have to hit Laboon. You have to hit Logtown. You have to hit Laboon. You have to hit Whiskey Peak. You have to hit Little Garden, especially Little Garden now, considering where we are in the manga. And then you have to hit Drum Island. You can't move things around. You can't change interactions. Every character that's introduced at this point, starting in Logtown, where you'll get Smoker, you'll get Dragon, Buggy is still in there. You get to Whiskey Peak, everybody. You get Vivi, even though she's masquerading as one of the numbers at that point. You get Laboon. You can't skip Laboon. You cannot skip Laboon, or you're screwing over Brooke. And then you get to Little Garden. You can't skip Little Garden because you need the Giants and you need Mr. 3, and of course, then you need Robin popping up here and there. They have the Robin. I'm still not sold on the Robin actress. I'll have to see her in the show to make a final judgment. And then, of course, Drum Island is Chopper and Wapple and everything that goes on there. So you can't move things around anymore. They got away with it in season 1. Everything's surrounding Garp, but they can't do that this time. And if they do it, it's fucked. And then Alabasta, that's a whole nother game. But at least you're going to spend 8 episodes on Alabasta and not try to cram it into 3. I give them that much respect.
Yeah.
I'm going to be highly critical. And it's my right. I feel like it's my right to be critical. I will judge it heavily. But I'll be there. I will review it whenever it comes out in 2026. Unless it's my week of doom at the theme park. Or Day of Doom. That's going to be a rough day.
Yeah, you set yourself up for that shit, though.
I'm getting paid at least. I got paid, so what can I do? Well, at least maybe they'll choose to have me get a not so terrible face paint. I mean, if I'm left up to Jen and Rachel, they were gonna paint me as Ahsoka. Left up to them. At least, well, no. The chat has said, well, maybe we'll paint him as a Chiss. I could live being a Chiss. I could live with that.
They should paint you as Mace Windu.
Ain't wearing a bald cap.
Walking around with blackface.
Yep.
I did that. I did that as Homie the Clown. I told you that story. Or you did that once in my life, and then again, you wouldn't even know I'm Mace Windu. I'm just some guy walking around in blackface.
I want him to walk in dressed like Mace Windu, the whole get up, the whole thing.
You
even
can't
the
cosplay.
purple lightsaber.
You cannot cosplay at Galaxy's Edge. We've been over this.
And then have him go, these motherfucking snakes off this motherfucking plane, and just watch everyone go, what the fuck?
Listen, you gotta understand. I'm not only this on the same day. We're gonna go watch Mando Grogu. All right, it's all a nightmare. It's all a nightmare. Anyway, all right, we're gonna wrap it up. We are just about 2 hours in. It's after midnight, and I still got stuff to do tomorrow. So let's go on the horn, pimp our wares, and go. I'm gonna go. Question my choices after this. Devil, what's your week look like?
Obviously, Friday going to Saturday, we got the pub, but the big one is this Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. PTSD, is the first episode of Make Me a Sandwich. We've put a lot of work into it. It is hopefully gonna be freaking amazing. Definitely check that out. I'm hoping to get a lot of people noticing it and watching. So stop by, check it out.
All right, guys. Yeah, Devil's put a lot of work into this. There's trailers out there, all kinds of stuff. It's basically a version of No Ma'am. So check it out, guys. Wednesday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. Join Devil and his crew for that one. Sam.
Well, I'm not doing shit tonight because I got an audiogram first thing in the morning for work, so that's going to be fun. I'm just going to go to bed because I got to get up ass early and get my ass across town. I might, if I can swing the time, I might try to make me a sandwich. I don't. Things are kind of iffy right now as far as like timing goes, but I might pop up over there. So, but definitely go watch the show regardless whether or not I'm there. Support Devil. He's awesome. He does awesome shit. And then we will be returning on Friday for Abyssal Musings, where I believe the plan is to continue down the dark little Chat GPT RPG rabbit hole that we're doing. And Ariel, I promise you, I will talk to Larry about adding Adam in.
Yay.
No promises that he will be added in, but I will bring it up with Larry. And then, Beelzebub right after that on Devil's channel. Back over to my channel, where we will be probably discussing, horrific sciencey things and that sort of thing, like the fungus thing we did recently. That'll be fun. You can also find me on the Exiled Lioness 2 when she goes live, except for this last Saturday where my internet crapped out entirely for fucking 20 goddamn hours right in the middle of that stream. And then right back here next Mellow Monday. So
all right. As for me, every Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern, hop back over here for the Daily Dive, the Double Ds, where you, the chat, are in charge. And rest of the week, we go where the wind takes us for topics. I'm going to try, as I said, we're going to try and get a couple more gaming streams in this week to finish up Expedition 33, so I can put that on my victory list of games completed with enthusiasm. And after that, we'll move on to Lunar for our regular weekly streaming. But then this weekend, as I said, we're doing on co-op. It'll be some Space Marine 2, likely later on with some Starship Troopers. Saturday Night Drive-In this week, I won after the Apple Dumpling Gang incident from last weekend. Thank you for that again. Thank you for that again, Lagat. I want to do art, so we'll be discussing The Sound of Music with the incomparable Julie Andrews.
One of the hills are alive, bitches.
I wish I could have done the Apple Dumpling King. I used to love that movie so much.
So you're gay. Good to know. All right. So so we'll be doing that normal time, 6 p.m. Eastern. I don't know if we have any guests for Ballbusters this week. And other than that, I haven't scheduled it yet, but we're gonna do a Doctor Who Nerdgasm. Because now the Shooty Who's over, we want to celebrate real Doctor Who. We'll do our first one of those. And all future Nerdgasms will be decided by the chat going forward. But you guys let us know what you want us to nerd out over. I'm also getting close to working on setting up the Nerd Fight stream, the very first Nerd Fight stream. So I'm kind of putting it together. But my focus right now is on getting a Nerdgasm done and getting the tabletop started. So once those are in play, I will look towards getting a Nerd Fight going. Get your input on what you want to see two nerds fight over. Should be fun. Should be great. So other than that, stay tuned for all kinds of good things. Roundtable 2 p.m. Eastern, and we'll be right back here next Monday for another Mellow Monday. So thank you one and all for joining us this evening. We hope you had a good time. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel where I am, as I said, just 8 subs away from 4,000. When they cross 4,000, they say great things happen. Things start to move. So thank you one and all. We'll catch you guys later. Until then, take it easy, guys.
Bye.
Still lagging. There we go.
Nope, still live.